I've been thinking a lot about evil OCs, and it's not necessarily evil OCs in the funny antagonist sort of way, but more so original characters that have morally questionable actions to them. I don't even think they need to be antagonists, but they've been growing in popularity a lot. So, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit, and I'm sure others have already discussed some of the character sentiments that have been going around recently. Before I get into anything, I do want to put a trigger warning here. I am going to vaguely mention things like necrophilia, pedophilia, zoophilia, along with other taboo topics, but this is only very vaguely and I don't go into depth on them, but I think it's worth mentioning and giving a little warning for in advance. So if those topics or discussion of them vaguely makes you uncomfortable, then feel free to skip this video. I think I've been noticing the popularity in evil OCs, especially after the fanon versus canon OC trend. I talked about it a little bit in my fanon video if you've seen that one, but it's really just discussing characters who often get fanonized in a way where their evil actions or all of their complicated character traits usually get whittled down to make them more socially acceptable to like. And I think a lot of the trend was poking fun at that, but especially after that trend, a lot of people have been making OCs with a emphasis on shock value and not really handling a lot of these topics with the proper care. I just wanted to talk about evil OCs and I think the better ways in order to make a character that may have morals that are different from the average person. Having and liking evil characters is completely fine. It is a-okay. I think antagonists are beloved for a reason despite them being evil in regards to the actions that they take in the story, and they are a central part of the plot. You can't really have a story without a concept being antagonized or a character being, the big bad. And even then, I do really love when protagonists or central characters take actions that aren't necessarily acceptable to most people because it kind of layers the character a lot more. And exploring that, even with characters that are mostly good, can be really interesting. But there is a certain way that you kind of have to grasp it, and especially when it comes to real life topics that affect real life people, there's a way to be respectful in doing that and handling things with the proper care and severity that it requires. That being said, a lot of the original characters that have been growing in popularity recently tend to throw all of the things I said out of the window. A lot of it is very one-dimensional in the sense that they're not really going into depth about any of this or discussing any nuances, any of that. It's really just for shock value and for competition on who can have the most evil character ever. You can do whatever you want. I'm just a person on the internet. I don't have any say in what you do or create as a person, but I do think things, especially like necrophilia, pedophilia, and zoophilia, being common with these types of characters and not handled with proper decorum is really, really weird. And of course, create whatever you want, but I wouldn't be surprised if people give you a weird look or say something that calls you out for that being weird, because there is, again, a certain way that you have to really handle these topics. It's not something that you can lightly put down on the table or just present without further context, if that makes sense. It's frustrating because I think there's a bunch of different ways that you can handle these things respectfully, but doing so in a way that is supposed to be a flex or to compete with other people, it's just not cool. Don't do it. The way that people are handling these is very similar to the trauma dump characters or punching bag characters who have all of this trauma put onto them simply to compete with other people. I don't know if anyone remembers the despite everything it's still you trend and how that kind of snowballed into shocking the viewer with the most insane before and after images. That's kind of what it feels like for me when it comes to OCs like this that are supposed to be morally dubious at best, and then not really give them any depth besides just saying those things outright. It's really frustrating, but again, I'm just a person on the internet ranting about things, and the internet's the internet. There's not much to be done about that, but I do think that it's very telling that a lot of these people are definitely on the younger side, making these types of characters. I do want to reiterate that you shouldn't shy away from making these types of characters or making antagonist characters, be evil just because I feel like some people are handling it really weirdly. These types of topics can be handled respectfully and with proper care. It's just that you have to be mindful about, again, how you're wording things, discussing them in a way that doesn't really pull away from the actions that you're talking about, because again, one of the problems that I'm noticing with this is people just kind of throw these things like necrophilia all over the place without handling them tactfully, and then trying to claim afterwards that, oh, well, people can't handle really evil OCs. No, it's just that you're not handling them respectfully that I think a lot of people are weirded out about. Portrayal always will play a role in, I think, how people see your character and then you creating that character by default. In general, a lot of these things, again, do happen to real-life people or are very difficult to discuss, so that kind of has to be in mind when you're creating a character like this. Again, I love antagonists. I love characters that are, for the most part, not great people because it feels very real. But again, I feel like a lot of these characters that have been created are just for shock value or for brownie points with other people in the community, and is really bizarre. That's just my ramblings on this. If you've seen any similar phenomena with this in the OC community, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And of course, if you don't agree with what I have to say, I'd also love to hear about it. Discussion is one of the things that I hope to promote on this channel. I yap a lot in the comment sections, so, we're always free to talk and whatever. But yeah, that's all. Bye!